I'm Richard Powers, the Chief of Staff of Sonoma West Medical Center. Here I'm standing on the helipad that for a whole year we've been unable to use, and we're extremely happy to be back here. I remember a year ago when we stood in this place and we're very sad because this helipad has saved a lot of children. People got evac from here to Children's Hospital. It saved people that needed to go to San Francisco for stroke care and other special needs for people who had to get urgent help that we were not able to provide. And for this past year, we haven't been able to use it at all because our hospital's been closed, and we're almost open now. By the end of this month, we should be operating again as a full-service hospital with an emergency room, with an ICU, with regular surgical care, 20 beds of high quality, much improved facility, and lots of new technology and new physicians, everything that we needed to make this a successful medical center.
We want to welcome you all to Sonoma West Medical Center. We're excited about opening up very soon and being back in business. I'm Ray.
Cindy, nice to meet
Cindy,
you,
very
sir.
nice to meet you.
Greg, one of our great joining today.
Jeff, we want to welcome you and Reach to the new Sonoma West Medical Center. We're very excited about opening the hospital for this community. We know that by providing the helicopter service is going to be a big part of serving our community.
And we are also glad to be here to help support your hospital in any way that we can with patient transportation, education, any assistance that we can provide. We are actually very excited to see Sonoma West, able to come into existence, and we're glad to see it be a successful endeavor. We are located here today at Sonoma West Medical Center, and the helicopter that you see behind me, this is the first time it's landed here in over a year. And we are here at the open house for Sonoma West and their anticipation of opening here in a few weeks. Reach Air Medical Services has been in business since 1987, where they started in Santa Rosa under the direction and the guidance and basically the concept of Dr. John McDonald, who was emergency department physician with Santa Rosa Memorial Hospital. And during that time, we have grown to over 20 bases in 3 states, Oregon, California, and Texas. And we're actually expanding into also Montana and Colorado here in the very near future. A little bit about the aircraft that you see behind me. This is a Bell 407 aircraft. It's a VFR aircraft, meaning that the pilot, when they fly with direct visualization of the ground. Some of our aircraft, and actually the aircraft that is based in Santa Rosa, this one here is actually based in Lakeport, is an IFR aircraft, meaning that we can fly in more inclement weather using instruments. Our standard crew configuration is a flight nurse and a flight paramedic, and also a pilot. But there are times where we will fly nurse for staffing. And basically, this is what we call an air ambulance, but we have the full capabilities of any ICU essentially on board, whether it's mechanical ventilation, maintain advanced mechanical ventilation at a high level of care, invasive line monitoring, the pharmacology that we carry, and a very aggressive set of protocols to take care of a wide array of patients. One other thing that we have specific to Reach, especially at the Santa Rosa base and the Concord base, is that those are both what we call neonatal bases. The clinicians that work at those bases primarily are neonatal trained, and we can take down to, depending on the level of the neonatal staff, a 500-gram, 26-week-old premature infant, and we have the full equipment and capabilities to take care of those. So flight time from Santa Rosa base to Sonoma West is about 8 to 10 minutes. And then, for instance, from here, Sonoma West to Children's Hospital of Oakland, you're looking at about 18 minutes, maybe 20 depending on weather. and other air traffic, but it's considerably shorter than if you go by ground ambulance. And the quality of care is that you have 2 critical care trained providers taking care of 1 patient, which really is a higher level of service.
So getting the patients out is kind of tricky. We don't have a bunch of room. This sled right here pulls out. And then we can remove this top sled and take it out to get the patient, bring it back in, load them in the same way that they came out. Sometimes we have super tall people that feet are going to like push through the windshield. We get them in there. We can get a little bit creative and transport with their head back a little bit, and the 2 of us can sit right here. But anybody where there's a potential airway risk where we're going to have to do airway stuff, that's not an option because we need to be sitting right behind them in that scenario. Yeah. We can sit people up so everybody doesn't have to be lame. When we take a parent ride along, mom has to squeeze in the middle between the 2 of us. Mom or dad has to squeeze in the middle between the 2 of us.
All of our clinicians, just to get through the door, have to have a certain level of training. A nurse has to have a minimum of 3 years of experience, preferably with at least 1 year of ICU experience. And then the rest can be either ER or some other modality of training. And then paramedics, the same thing. They have to have 3 years of experience in a busy, dynamic 911 system. That can be either rural or urban. But most of our clinicians come in with more than that. Our pilots have to have, I believe, 3,000 hours to start to be able to apply. And most of them have usually 5,000 or more when they come here. So we're very fortunate to have such well-trained staff. Our safety record is excellent. We have what's called a safety level system of a 2, which it means that we will exceed what the FAA requirements are for aviation safety and the industry standards for safety as well.
My name is Lauren Hoyt. I'm a flight paramedic at REACH. I'm very excited that we'll be able to provide service to Sonoma West Medical Center. One of my best, most fulfilling and probably exciting transports in my 7 years here was actually out of the old hospital. We were able to take a baby that ultimately needed a cardiac surgeon, and although there wasn't really much more to be done for the baby besides that surgery, the helicopter ride is probably ultimately what saved their life. And so I think it's super beneficial that we'll be able to provide services like that in the future now that they're reopening.
You know, a lot of people don't realize that when the hospital closed, the access to a helicopter landing pad also closed and no longer was available.
That is correct.
We've heard stories of people in this community. We know the story of the child that fell off a cliff in Bodega Bay last year, and we've heard stories where it really would have been advantageous to have access to a helicopter pad right here in Sebastopol.
Absolutely.
And not have to transport from Bodega Bay or from the West County area all the way into Santa Rosa or sometimes further than that.
Absolutely, because you're right. Going west, there are not that many good landing zone sites that are predetermined that we can land out safely and we know it's a good landing site. You know, we can make some interim ones with fire and EMS personnel and law enforcement, but those still aren't really what we would consider to be truly secured like this. So to have this available to where we can rendezvous, ambulances could bring a patient that needs immediate stabilization and go into the emergency department, receive that. We can be here on site to assist and then transport the patient to definitive care wherever that is, whether it's, you know, San Francisco, Oakland, you know, Sacramento area, Santa Rosa Memorial. Absolutely.
So by bringing the hospital back to the community, we're also bringing a vital resource in terms of a helicopter landing pad back to the community as well.
Correct. Absolutely. And you know, the other advantage is that we are literally, our Santa Rosa base is literally 8 minutes by flight time away. Maybe 10 minutes depending on weather, but about 8 to 10 minutes, and we can be here. You have 2 critical care clinicians, flight nurse, flight paramedic. The other thing about our Santa Rosa base is that it's one of our 2 neonatal bases. So we have neonatal experts that can come in here with an isolate. They can take a 500 gram, depending on the level of experience of the nurse, but a 26-week 500 gram patient, neonatal, baby, and take them full care to a higher level of care. We're actually transporting a higher risk, higher level of acuity neonatal patients than a lot of the hospital teams are actually even doing. And we're right in your back door.
Well, I'm looking forward to working together with you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.